Hey y'all, it's Necey Dixon. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. If you are new here, welcome. If you are returning, y'all, welcome back, y'all. Necey with the braids is back, y'all. I'm much more productive with my braids, okay? So I'm hoping that I start to get videos out on time. For those of you who haven't really been paying attention to the videos on my channel, y'all, last night I actually dropped Real Housewives of Salt Lake City like the same night as the episode. But I really wanted to save this conversation for a live conversation so we could go ahead and talk about Love and Marriage Huntsville as well as talk about Real Housewives of Potomac, okay? Now, another thing, Super Duper Sundays brunch at Necey's is not canceled. Yesterday, I actually had to go to brunch in person with my friends and some family. So I missed y'all for Love and Marriage Huntsville. So that's definitely what we're about to get into today. Immediately after this video, we are going to talk about Real Housewives of Potomac. I think we had two, fun things happen in these episodes. So I think that it's going to be fun for us to talk about. Today, I'm drinking my water. I don't have my wine. Your girl has gone OD, y'all. I've been tripping. I've gained like 5 or 6 pounds, which is really not that much in the grand scheme. But y'all, I have a wedding in 6 months. So let me make sure I can fit my dress and let me scale back now. Okay. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to drink my water for today and I'm going to save the liquor or the wine for Ooh Ladies First Panel on Thursdays. But let me say what's up to the chat. Hey, Julia, glad to see you here, girl. What's up, Alicia Garcia? I'm ready. Hey, girl. Kevin Reynolds, this is your first live. What's up? Now, like the video on y'all's way in. This episode, I feel like, was still really entertaining. It wasn't a whole lot going on, but it was. We get Tisha and Kimmy. And of course, we get Martell hating. Beyonce, he was definitely giving New York hottie vibes trying to hate on Mel. So with that being said, y'all, let's go ahead and hop into the review for Love and Marriage Huntsville. And then immediately after, I have Potomac scheduled for 5:45. But if we finish this live sooner, y'all already know, just hop on into Potomac because we can go ahead and get that out of the way. So let's go ahead. This episode was episode 11, I believe, and it was called Trouble in Paradise. I wish they could have came up with something just a little bit more clever, okay? So y'all, the episode starts out at the pool where we left off, y'all. Remember that Tisha and Marceau is arguing their point to Kimmy. Mind y'all, I said Tisha and Marceau because I wanted y'all to realize that Tisha and Marceau was having this aggressive ass conversation with their sister-in-law Kimmy, and it took Maurice a minute to step in. So I was like, Maurice, you need to speak up, okay? The liquor can't hit that hard to where you don't realize that your friends is calling Kimmy a side chick, you laughing about it. Then last episode, they played the flashback of Martell actually sharing the information that Kimmy was allegedly a side chick, right? They played that flashback last episode. But then when I was watching the previews for this week's episode, you see Martell clearly saying that he got the information from Marceau. Oddly, I believe Martell, okay? I think that is something that they talked about from jump. I believe that Marceau told Martell that, okay? I do. So anyway, it wasn't until this episode that Maurice actually jumped in, y'all. They're arguing, right? And I don't know what it is with all these. I cannot stand a high-pitched voice, y'all. And that's no shade, okay? Because my sister and my mama, they start talking like this. They definitely got some of that Melody Holt in them when they get upset. And it's like when I hear people get into that register, I can't even argue with you no more. And that's how I felt like this argument was going down between Tisha and Kimmy. Tisha and Kimmy, they register was I can't even have a discussion with you no more because now you don't even sound like an adult. So that's how I was feeling, y'all. And plus, y'all know I got like a middle, deeper voice myself. So whenever I just hear it, it's like nails on a chalkboard. I'm like, I'm gonna have to head out on this one. So anyway, y'all, they're at the pool, and Kimmy is arguing her point that she corrects Jalen more than they know. She's saying that sometimes Jalen is wrong. She's not saying that Jalen is absent of all faults, okay? She knows that Jalen can be a smart ass sometimes. But y'all, what I really wanted to get into is while Jalen can be a smart ass sometimes, I really wish that we got to the root of it. What's wrong with the way that y'all are running y'all's business? Okay. I wanted to know that that is definitely a problem. Employees can definitely have complaints. And if they're not getting what they want, sometimes they're just going to be smart asses, and it is what it is. But to dead the whole situation, because y'all know that Kimmy has that level of emotional intelligence that most people don't. Honestly, most people on reality TV, at least, she does the situation. And Maurice finally steps in. I don't even remember what he said. I didn't take note of what Maurice said exactly because it probably didn't mean very much, and he stepped in a little bit too late. So as Kimmy ends up walking a little bit off, Tisha, y'all, growth. The growth. Okay. Tisha ends up saying, hey, I do want to apologize. And she said, that she knows that they keep arguing over the same stuff. And sometimes it can be like, damn. When Tisha said that, I was like, I'm shocked. I was excited to hear her apology. I was super proud of her. They end up hugging. Let me go ahead and show y'all the little pictures I do have because I forgot that I even uploaded pictures for this episode. They end up hugging, and I'm like, oh, sister moment. Good for y'all. Because I would not have the patience. Kimmy, I'm giving you all the kudos. Number one, the kudos for your husband not stepping in. Well, from what we saw, okay? From what we saw on TV, kudos to you for your husband not stepping in and correcting these fools from jump, okay? So kudos for that. You had a crazy amount of patience for that. Number two, kudos for Tisha being your sister-in-law and her working your everlasting nerves and you being able to hug it out because I could not. I already have two sisters, and any extra drama with females, I do not tolerate. I have two sisters, okay? I'm good on it, okay? My sisters are my built-in best friends. I don't have time to argue with you hoes, okay? And that's basically how I was feeling. KA says, when Kimmy teared up, I did as well. Not sure if it will last though. Okay, K, I was shocked whenever Kimmy started to tear up. I was like, is it the liquor? Is it the alcohol? I feel like it might have been the alcohol, definitely. L says, notice. Maurice spoke up real quick to co-sign on Kimmy calling Jalen out when wrong, but he does not speak up about her being a side chick. Thank you so much, L, because that's what I didn't take note on. I told y'all I didn't take note about exactly what Maurice said because it really didn't matter. It didn't mean anything. It was a grain of salt. Came a little bit too late. And that's because he wasn't co-signing on the things that he should have been. You should have been correcting the men about calling your wife a side chick. And mind y'all, we have talked to Kimmy, Ooh Ladies First Panel, which is me, Bondi, Jamie, and Jay Lee. We interviewed Kimmy a couple months ago. I think it was on Jay Lee's channel, and we asked her about that. She let us know the timeline of their relationship. She said that she was never, ever, ever a side chick. She said that they started dating 2 months before his divorce was final. She cleared that up for us. So I don't believe she was a side chick. A lot of y'all said that if she was, she probably didn't know it. I'm right there with y'all. Okay. So let's go ahead and move on to the dinner scene. Everybody's like, where's Mel? Is Mel showing up? And that's whenever Tiffany, wrong road, Tiffany, again, speaks on some issues she shouldn't speak on. I hate somebody that's new to the group and they overstep boundaries for the sake of getting in where they fit in. There are two types of people. One that just observes, they wait for the right moment to warm up and get to know people, and then they're in the group. Fly. And then the second type of person are people like Tiffany. Tiffany, who oversteps boundaries, who does things that typically would be uncomfortable or awkward for strangers to do, only for people to be like, oh, she's different. Oh, she's not afraid to go against the grain. Oh, that don't work with me, okay? And another one of those people who's like that is Mia from Real Housewives of Potomac. And we're going to talk about her in a second because I hate a damn overstepper. I hate people trying to go against the grain. Hate people that be doing the most. Why? Okay, didn't nobody ask for this. You won't get brownie points for that with me. So y'all, at the breakfast table, Tiffany ends up asking Martell something about, oh, did you talk to your baby mama? Because everybody's asking, where is Mel? Martell says, wait, which one? I talk to her every day. And I thought it was funny that Martell actually said which one. But what I didn't think was funny was that Tiffany said that Mel basically counts as a baby mama because she has 4 kids by him. To me, y'all, I think it's quite disrespectful. The woman was married to him. That was his whole wife. You'd been better off calling the side chick a baby mama than to call Mel a baby mama. Mel is his ex-wife. Okay, you could have just said, have you talked to Mel? Have you talked to your ex-wife? She's not a baby mama. And I just felt like she was trying to be cute with that shit. So I'm definitely over Tiffany. And one of the things Kimmy said to us in the interview is that it'll be funny to see what people do to try to, acclimate themselves with the group. And that's what we see. Jasmine Taylor, I'm right there with you with the wide hips. I'm right there with you. Y'all doing too much. California killing me. Tiffany is a baby mama. I wouldn't even call Tiffany a baby mama because Tiffany is an ex-wife. She was married before. So it's like, don't even disrespect nobody like that. Side baby mama titles are reserved for side bitches or people who end up having multiple kids with no commitment to marriage. I'm not saying that that's wrong. I mean, if that's how you want to live your life, fine. I'm not judging. I'm just saying if somebody becomes a wife or even an ex-wife, don't refer to me as a baby mama. That's the coleslaw chick over there, okay? So now, Kimmy and Martell. Kimmy and Martell end up, let me not skip this part, y'all. So after Tiffany brings up the baby mama comment, we see Mel and her pretty self walk in. I actually like this wig, y'all. I like this color blonde much better than the blonde braided wig that we saw before. I think she looks super pretty. You know who else thought she looked super pretty? Martell. Martell had heart eyes. And y'all, I have to tell y'all, me and the girls were talking on Instagram, like we always do whenever these episodes come out. Bondi and Jay Lee had watched the episode before me, and they kept saying that Martell had pissed them off. And I was like, for what? Right? So I don't know. It's something about seeing Martell at the beginning of the episode without Mel that gave me hope that, like, Martell seems like a nice guy when you don't think about all the shit he's done. And part of me was like, maybe he could redeem himself, but not to be back in a relationship with Mel, but maybe he could redeem his character is what I was thinking. Boy, was I wrong, okay? Now I know to never, ever think that about Martell because he definitely showed his ass. So anyway, Mel shows up. And, she's like, where am I going to stay at? Martell got hearts in his eyes. Everybody's joking with her, giving her a hard time, saying that she can stay in the room with Martell. Y'all know she was not here for that shit, right? So anyway, there's a room next to Martell's where she ends up staying at, okay? So now, after this scene, we see Kimmy and Martell in the kitchen. They're in the kitchen, and Kimmy starts having a discussion with Martell about Mel, and she's saying, like, do you think that things are going to go well? I'm mixing up 2 scenes, but that's fine, y'all. Whatever. Kimmy's talking to Martell, and she is telling him that, it's hard to see a couple that was once together separate. So she's asking him, do you think that there's a chance that y'all could possibly get back together? Of course, Martell just says, we'll have to see. But ultimately, in his confessional, he says that it's something that he doesn't want to talk about. So y'all, the next thing that we get on to see is why hips, y'all. Why thing number 1, why thing number 2. They're having a conversation about their kids. Tiffany's feeling away because Louis took her son or his son, I think it was her son, to go get a haircut. And she wasn't there for his first haircut. So now, okay, KA, I wanted to read this comment. Kay says, Mel was getting smart with people in her comments saying that she doesn't care if Tiffany called her baby mama and it's not that deep. This the one. Let Tisha call her that and we'll see. I feel you, definitely. I was wondering how Mel was reacting to that, but part of me felt like she wouldn't blow it out of proportion because she's protecting her friend. So anyway, Tiffany and Louis, she's complaining about not seeing her kid get his haircut. Blah, blah, blah. Womp, womp, womp. Y'all tried it, okay? I don't want to know nothing else about Tiffany at this point. Y'all know everybody kind of has their main storyline amongst the group, and then they have their main storyline like in their personal lives that you obviously want to know about. I don't want to know nothing else about Tiffany and Louis, okay? So, like I said, Mel arrives, everybody's joking with her. The one thing that she ends up saying to Tisha later on while they're taking shots is that she didn't know that Martell was coming, which I thought was kind of interesting because it's like, nah, you had to know Martell was coming. But it kind of gave me insight to how much they probably really talked. Because later on in the episode, we end up finding out that she asked him, well, what'd you do with the kids? And I'm like, damn, y'all really don't talk like at all, it sounds like. So anyway, Tisha says, I'm surprised you didn't know he was coming because I had his name in the group chat. So I actually believe Tisha when it comes to that. I absolutely do. Not unless it happened another way, because I can see this happening. The other way that it could have happened is that Tisha had invited Mel in a solo text initially. And then once they started planning, she sent a group text that later on involved Martell. Mel probably didn't look at whose name was on the list. I'm sure she did, y'all. Because if you know your ex-husband is a part of the group, I'm sure you looked at whose name was in the group text. But I'm thinking it's probably two conversations that happened, a solo conversation, a group conversation, and Mel is probably just playing crazy because nobody like directly told her, your ex-husband is coming on this trip. Whatever. Maybe that'll be a good question. Yeah. So anyway, y'all, it's time for the couples and singles to get ready to go on their first adventure. We don't really know what it is at this point. The guys and the girls separate on two different buses where they're having two different conversations. So really the main conversation that happens on the girls' bus is they start talking to Mel about Martell and Martell about Mel. Mel ends up saying that she doesn't really consider Martell a friend because they've been down that road before, and she knows for them to remain the way that they are, there's no friendship. It just is what it is. It reminded me of her song, y'all. I love that song. I tell y'all that all the time, but I'm just a sucker for any type of like, fuck that nigga breakup songs, okay? I'm just a sucker for any of them. It don't even matter if it just sounds like something I heard before. Here y'all go in the comments. Let's talk about her knowing that Martell was coming. California Cutie says she knew Martell was coming. They're on a show and on a group trip, I think. Definitely. Kay says she knew she had that conversation with Destiny already and she wanted Destiny to be her wingman. Duh. Kay, you're right. You are so right. Okay, Priest says, no, Mel knew he was coming. Martell said he spoke to her the day before. Right. Okay, I get what y'all is saying. I believe y'all. I believe she knew, but I think she's trying to manipulate the situation and make it seem like, well, Tisha, you didn't directly tell me he was coming, so how was I supposed to know? As if Tisha owed a direct Martell is coming. I think that's what it was, y'all. Okay. And yes, they discussed it last episode. Thank y'all. That's why I like doing these live reviews. Y'all be keeping me in check. Okay. So anyway, like I said, Mel says that she doesn't want to be friends with Martell. They've been down that road before. On the other bus, they're having a conversation about Mel, about divorce. One thing, y'all, Marceau says that there have been plenty of divorceable moments in his marriage. The only difference between he and Tisha's marriage is that they haven't gotten divorced. He thinks that marriage is basically just a commitment. So he's wondering or just bewildered at the fact that people could get divorced and remarried again. But while I believe what he's saying, part of me wonders, what were those divorceable moments? Because I feel like for a lot of people, divorceable moments are typically like affairs, addiction, financial issues, with the most popular one probably being affairs. So y'all drop down in the comments. Y'all tell me, what do y'all think he meant by divorceable moments? I already know what y'all gonna say, but I just want to see. I just want to see for myself. What do y'all think that Marceau meant by divorceable moments? He also said that his biggest mistakes or the biggest mistakes that his aunt told him for advice or something was confusing sex for love and money for success. He said that every day he has to say thank God for them kids, because there were moments where they definitely only stayed together for the kids. Definitely old school logic. Definitely not surprised at all by what he's saying, because a lot of the stuff he says is old school logic. But honestly, like, I'm not mad at them for thinking this way. I think everybody should have the individualistic approach to how they view marriage. And if you want to stay in something that's no longer serving you for the purpose of staying for the kids, do that. But honestly, I feel like a lot of people leave for the kids, because you have to think about the way that it impacts your future children. So it is what it is, y'all. Saint Lee says he's taking Auntie's advice, and y'all haven't told me what y'all think the divorceable moment was. So y'all drop down in the comments, tell me what y'all think the divorceable moment was, okay? And then Julia says it couldn't have been about money because Mel is the brains behind it. I don't know what that was about. Crystal, divorceable moment is probably Wanda. Okay, Marceau tells us in so many words and ways that he's miserable and only there for the kids. Literally, he does. He does. But Marceau, I feel like he can't fathom having a second marriage, because he views marriage as something that's transactional, something that could easily be arranged. So he's thinking like, this is just the way it is. Why would I go do this with somebody else? But it also kind of makes me look at him crazy, because it's like, damn, where's the love? You say so many times like it just is what it is. I don't know. And I know Tisha has to be feeling some type of way. But at the same time, I'm kind of like, that's what you signed up for. You got to know who you're with before you decide to sign them papers. So let's move on, y'all. So now we will move on to the car scene. Mel and Destiny end up riding together. That was a long ass scene of them riding around and really nothing happened. So all the couples end up stopping, y'all. And what was funny to me, did y'all peep whenever Mel got out that car? Mel said, Martell, what did you text me for? You text me talking about shaking my head. And I thought it was hilarious, because I'm like, Martell got caught up, okay? You texted her on the low trying to be cute because you still got that thing for her. You still got it for her. And she's calling you out every single time, okay? So what was funny to me was that he got caught up. Tisha ends up saying that the next day everybody's going to separate, guys and girls, which before she even knew was absolutely necessary, because the shit that was about to go down right after that, yeah, y'all was going to have to separate the next day. Tisha, she ends up talking to her brother-in-law, Maurice, and she's like, I need you to keep an eye on Mr. Scott, because the girls out here, they got eyes. I got to close them together, and the girls out here, they got eyes. They have eyes. I need you to keep an eye on your brother. Girl, I don't know how many times this season I have to tell y'all, don't nobody want peanut head ass Maurice. Okay. I think if you want to prevent Marceau being for the streets, allegedly, what you would have to do is cover his eyes up. I don't think that everybody's out here after him. Now, I'm sure because of your level of insecurity and the fact that you're on reality TV, plenty of women are probably after him in his DMs now, because that's just how it works. Whenever you come on reality TV and people know that you're having problems in your marriages, or they know that you have a husband that's potentially cheating or capable of cheating, they try to tempt them because people want to make a headline. So I feel like, Tisha, you are only making your matters worse. I'm so tired of you talking about this man and your insecurities. You definitely need to do some personal counseling, as well as couples counseling, which is probably not going to happen. So you telling Maurice to keep an eye on Marceau in one ear out the other. Maurice is having conversations with you about this counseling session that you surprised Marceau with. Okay, next. So anyway, here we go. Martell and Mel. They sit down. Mel says, Martell, can I have a conversation with you? And as soon as she said that, I was like, oh no, oh no, oh no, oh no. Oh no, the TikTok sound, y'all. I just said, oh no. Why would you have this conversation with him in front of everybody? Why would you have the conversation with him, period? I feel like it has to be for TV because the conversation that she had with him was not even needed at all. I think I don't know what she thought the best result of this conversation would have been. Honestly, whenever I do things, I have to think like, what's my benefit? What's my ideal end result? Anything dealing with Martell, I feel like there is no ideal end result. So I feel like Mel has to separate herself from Martell. And when she apologized to her friend Brittany a couple episodes, it should have been left at that. Because we know that Martell does not have the emotional maturity to realize what he did wrong. And he also does not have the marbles to acknowledge when he does something wrong. Y'all, I'm referring to the episode before last. Mel ends up apologizing to her friend Brittany because Martell went on Instagram and said that she was incapable of babysitting their kids, let alone her own child. So Mel felt the need to apologize, not only for herself, but for Martell. I was like, nah, wrong road. So anyway, she ends up telling Martell, I was shooting my video, and he says, what video? For that bullshit ass song? He immediately comes out the gate antagonizing y'all. Even though Mel decided to have this conversation at the wrong time, she definitely was super level-headed, super indifferent when she was having a conversation with him. She even tried to make it easier for him by not only saying, I apologize on your behalf, but she said, I apologize on my behalf as well. Because the way Martell is, he doesn't take accountability for anything. If he goes down, he feels like Mel needs to go down as well. So she felt like, let me go ahead and just say I had some fault in this, even though I didn't do anything wrong. Y'all, I told y'all this was not going to be an ideal situation, okay? Elle, I got to read this comment from you. Elle Moore says, which was crazy considering Mel has no idea who was babysitting her kids when that was said. I don't know. They don't talk at all. I mentioned that earlier in the live because as soon as they sat down, she asked who was watching the kids. So I don't think she needed to apologize on his behalf or even have this conversation, but whatever. Anyway, Martell says that bullshit ass song. And Mel continues to try to be patient and to talk. And the way she handled this situation, I couldn't help but think about myself. And y'all, number one, I probably wouldn't have had that conversation there, okay? But it reminded me of how you come to somebody with common sense and you try to be patient, and it's not until they show their ass that you show your ass. And then ultimately, they try to make you look like you were wrong. What? Okay, so Martell, he comes over antagonizing immediately. That bullshit ass song. He ends up calling her Beyonce, which is shade. Beyonce, shade. Okay. So then he says to her, shut the hell up. And she says, well, you shut the F up, right? He was the aggressor the entire conversation. The only thing that I will hold Mel accountable for was the simple fact that there was no ideal ending to that conversation because you're talking to somebody who is illogical, somebody who you know like the back of your hand, somebody who you knew was going to show their ass at the end of this conversation, and also somebody who you did not need to apologize for because it just is what it is at the end of the day, okay? So that's the only thing I'm holding Mel accountable for. What we can do is call out the things that Martell does wrong, which is what he always does. He tried to gaslight, okay? He tried to make it seem like he was calling her Beyonce just because he was singing. That's not because she was singing. That's not true. You call her Beyonce just like them hating ass dudes that be talking to a girl like, oh, you think you this? Oh, you think you that? Oh, yeah, you feeling some type of way because you know that you can't have her. You know that she is no longer yours. So as soon as he gets disrespectful, throws multiple shots, he gets up, walks away, and says, I'm just going to have to walk away from you right now because you're being extremely disrespectful. Y'all, don't y'all remember we seen him do this earlier this season? He is a grade A narcissist. He knows how to manipulate the situation, y'all. We seen him do this earlier this season whenever Mel's mom was at the house. He came over to the house, y'all. Now, while I told y'all I don't think that Mel's mom should have been having that conversation with Martell, I think that she should have left stuff between Mel and Martell. He pulled the same stunt. What he did, he got real, lightweight, smart, acting like he was being respectful, but he was definitely being a little smart. He waits until the kids come down the stairs and he says, "Oh, your grandma is doing this to me." Why do you wait until you get in front of people to manipulate the situation and then try to make it seem like you're the victim? That's exactly what he did in this conversation, y'all. He antagonizes the entire situation, takes one shot, two shot, three shot, walks away, and says, "You're being disrespectful." What? Nah, that's when I would have showed my ass, and that's why I don't blame Mel. But also, hindsight, it's like, Mel, you knew this was gonna happen. You know how this man operate, girl. Why you giving him time of day? But whatever, okay? It just is what it is. If he was being disrespectful to me at that point in time, I would have been disrespectful back. So she says, "Y'all want to see the video? Y'all want to see the video? Here, I love Beyonce. Let me show y'all the video. Oh, y'all, my dog, he can't stand that high-pitched voice either. You okay? My bad, y'all. Let me go back to my regular tone. So anyway, she said, "Y'all want to see the video? I'll show y'all Beyonce." She's showing the video. They got to split the screen because he over here arguing, yelling, telling her to shut the F. Oh, my bad. He didn't tell her to shut the F up. Y'all want to know why? Because he was in front of people. He didn't want to be held accountable for being disrespectful. His end goal in this situation was to make Mel look as bad as possible, which is what he had been doing the whole time. So I'm not understanding why people were even going over to Mel, trying to get Mel to calm down. Thank you so much for the super chat, California Cutie. Love your commentary, Necey. Peace and blessings. Thank you so much. So what I feel like, people know that Martell is missing a few marbles, okay? They knew that the only person who was capable of diffusing the situation was Mel. So I think that's why they went over to Mel and was like, "Oh, you don't want to show this video. Girl, why are you showing the video? Don't do that. Don't do that." No, you disrespected me. And now you want to open up the door as soon as I'm acting an ass and let everybody see what I'm doing. Mental abuse, emotional abuse. Mel, you seem to be removed from this, but you're still entertaining it. Honestly, I hope that you did this for TV, because at this point, you've been with the man. I think you're with him for 12 years. Y'all been separated for a minute. At this point, you know what battles you can win, what battles you can't win. And honestly, you know what battles to choose. I don't think that was a battle worth choosing at all. The other thing that they argued about was that Martell says that the song was written before they were even separated. He says that she wrote the song before they were separated. The other disgusting thing I want to mention about this man disgusts me. Oh, this man disgusts me. He tells everybody, "You planned our divorce," which I believe. I would plan a divorce too for a check. I would string your ass along too until I had a TV show and everything was signed and I had all my shit in order before I divorced your ass. So I don't blame her for that if she did. The other thing he said was, "You was in the house having sex with me when you wrote that song." And he did that as a way to almost slut shame Mel, almost make it seem like she was manipulating him. Why are you bringing up the fact that you had sex with this woman in front of everybody? That's your ex-wife. Why are you discussing any type of sexual relations y'all had? You did it to try to make it seem like she was more so in the wrong, but in my opinion, you ended up looking like an asshole. Big time. Were we supposed to be mad at Mel because she wanted to get a divorce, but y'all were still having sex? People are separated all the time and still have sex. Y'all know what y'all be doing. People be running it back real quick. So why would you do that, Martell? In the end, I feel like Martell on the show to us, because we saw everything from beginning to end, I feel like Martell looked crazy in this situation. But what other way was he supposed to look? I told y'all there was no ideal situation. Now, if I was there in that moment, I probably would have done the same thing as Kimmy and Tisha, and I would have been like, "Mel, like, cut it." Because Mel is the only one capable of diffusing the conversation, and Martell, it just is disgusting for even bringing up the fact that he had sex with her in the house when the song was written. Fuck you. Okay. I'm with you, Bondi. I'm with you, Jay Lee. And I don't know what Jamie said yet, but I'm with you. It's a big FU to Martell. Disgusting. Okay. With that being said, y'all, we are about to review Real Housewives of Potomac on my channel in 4 minutes, okay? So before you move on to the next video, be sure to give me a thumbs up, like the video, like I said, thumbs up, share, subscribe, all that good stuff. Share the video on Twitter, hashtag Love and Marriage Huntsville, okay? I'll see y'all in the very next video immediately after this one. Let's talk about Real Housewives of Potomac. Bye, y'all.